I'm so old.
Because no, you're
Instead
not.
of holding the camera,
Yeah, they don't hold the phone anymore. You guys are
you don't hold the phone in your hand.
No, you don't hold the phone in your hand anymore. Just use the stick.
A stick. I mean,
Does that make it easier?
Yeah, it makes it easier because you just do this and the stick, it's long.
So that's like the tripod.
And I think
and are these sold
when
like
you need to take pictures with a large number of people, I think it comes in very handy because it gives you a broader range, a broader perspective.
So where do you buy them? Is it at the phone shops or what?
It's everywhere now. It's beginning to be everywhere.
I'm sorry.
So use your selfie sticks, people, and let's have those pictures.
Well, it's Nigeria 2015, and well, the issues are arising from the elections, the collation of results, the problems we are having, and of course the view from abroad, Nigeria's relations with our foreign neighbors, the United States playing the big brother role, and of course would also like to know how the course of the elections would also impact on Nigeria's regional influence, whether in West Africa, whether across the African continent.
I think it's important, sorry, sir, to note or ask that is it the case where the leadership of an administration makes that country friendlier to another country? It's famous, the Tony Blair, George W. Bush friendship. How even to the extent that, is that correct, that he was too buddy
no, but
with him?
Traditionally, the British and the Americans have had what they call a special relationship, so it's not peculiar to those two. If you remember Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher,
yes,
Bill Clinton
like
and Tony Blair,
and so these leaders just sort of carried on a tradition. I mean, but undoubtedly,
but what about Netanyahu and Obama?
Well, okay. But
you don't want to go there.
Let me say this, that I listened to you, to Kaderi attentively when I was talking about the first time in the history of our country in the history of our country's election, when two countries, or leaders of two countries, would jointly express their concern about the outcome of the election, particularly about the release of results and the need for the result not to be distorted or manipulated in the course of releasing the results. But the truth of the matter is that in this election cycle, there's been a lot of record of firsts. It's recorded several firsts. This is the first time in my experience that any president of the United States of America will be directly issuing a broadcast to the people of Nigeria while they're on the eve of an important election. This is the first time, in my view, when the vice president of that same country will engage the candidates of the two leading parties in telephone conversations to encourage them and exhort them and stress the need for them to behave correctly with appropriate political comportment, and then ensure that there's a free and fair election and a successful election. It's the first time, in my view, that you have the foreign minister of that same country come to Nigeria and meet with the two candidates of the party, not in Abuja, in Lagos, to also express concern about the election and the need to. So now the critical question is this useful? Is this valuable? Is this appropriate for us? The way I answer that question, Oposa, is that, well, there are times in the history of this country when many Nigerians wish for a direct intervention. I give you an example. During the 1993-1994 crisis, with Abacha coming to power, and then when repression started, a lot of expectations, stoked of course by some newspapers in Nigeria, in terms of giving vent to the expression of the people, and sustaining the idea. In fact, it was a fantasy that America would, Western powers will intervene directly in Nigeria. At the point, people were even thinking that they were just going to come in and pick up Abacha, really. Then, because we lived through that period, but that never happened. And Abacha was with us for years until something happened eventually.
But there was some level of intervention. There was some level of intervention. There were sanctions.
Visa restrictions and all
There
that.
were sanctions.
Nigerians were too desperate to understand and, tolerate that kind of cosmetic interventions. Yes, because you see, the argument then was that, yes, Nigeria was a sovereign country and all that. We can intervene in Nigeria and all that. And this guy was killing people.
It was like inappropriate for that to happen.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
It would have to be.
Ultimately, isn't it really the case that Nigerians need to realize our destiny is
No. I'm just building an argument.
That's right. Yeah, but we can't
building
ignore the fact that the international community did intervene to a certain level.
Yes, I acknowledge that. I acknowledge that. Several resolutions and all the sanctions. Even when Ken Saro-Wiwa was killed, sanctions and sanctions and sanctions. Yes, but the dictator dug in. And eventually those sanctions were not what removed him from power. I didn't know what eventually happened. No, I'm just saying, because we have to put this in historical perspective.
People talk about the coincidence of how he was taken out, and at the same time, the people who were seen to be sort of... So, there are conspiracy theories about what happened there.
Yeah, there could be conspiracy, but I'm dealing with what we know, and all that. But it was almost a deus ex machina, that, this problem have been resolved. But the point I'm making is that, yes, I want to believe that if this election is successfully conducted, and the result is released, and the result is credible, and is accepted, barring the usual complaint by partisans and political parties who will kick anyway, that may help reset relationship between Nigeria and the United States, for example. From what we can see, there's a frustrated relationship between Nigeria and the United States right now.
They have not admitted to that, though.
No. I will give you the references. How much more could they have admitted to that when recently, over the issue of not selling arms to Nigeria, there was a diplomatic spat, and there were hot exchanges. So it's not by formal declaration of a diplomatic row and by withdrawal of diplomats, as it's happened between Morocco and Nigeria, that you begin to deduce that there's a frustrated relationship. You see the body language, you see what's going on, and then you can make up your mind and then assess the situation. So there's a frustrated relationship right now, and the Nigerian administration will wish that things were better. As a matter of fact, on that same subject, the spokespersons of this, including the Foreign Minister of Nigeria, spoke about this and justified the reason why. Indeed, they use a particular word that Nigeria was being left in the lurch in its hour of need by the United States. I'm trying to remember. These are the exact words to justify why Nigeria had to look toward the East in buying armaments. I'm telling you. So all this shaped the relationship between the administration.
If we recall, what was the reason that was given? They had concerns as to in whose that they will fall into the wrong hands.
Well, there were a number of concerns.
The U.S. ambassador
including human
has
rights
continuously
abuses and all that.
Yes.
The inability to operate the machines because of the lack of knowledge and a whole bunch of things. But I'm interested in letting you land and sort of getting you to make the point you're making about you think that if we did things properly, we may see an improvement.
Well, I think he